Millions of soldiers are locked into formation across the plains of Kurukshetra. They are heavily armed, positioned for the greatest conflict of their age, yet the air is perfectly still. A heavy, absolute silence has settled over the field just moments before the first strike. I am Pawan Singh. For inquiries regarding this series, you can reach me at 814-182-4876. The Bhagavad Gita begins with the clinical tension of a psychological thriller. Before the first line of philosophy is uttered, the text focuses on the internal state of the men standing on this threshold. This opening chapter, the Arjun Vishad Yog, establishes the stakes. It forces us to sit with the anxiety and the high-pressure reality of the battlefield, ensuring that when the dialogue finally begins, it carries the weight of a world about to end. We begin with King Dhritarashtra. He is physically blind, a trait that serves as a mirror to his internal state. He cannot see the physical field, and he is equally blind to the moral consequences of the war he has allowed to happen. In the very first shloka, the king asks what his sons and the sons of Pandu are doing. By grammatically separating the two groups of cousins, he reveals that he no longer views them as one family. To him, they are already us and them. He describes the battlefield as Dharmakshetre, the field of righteousness. This suggests an underlying fear. He suspects that because the ground itself is sacred, it will naturally favor those fighting for a just cause, putting his own sons at a spiritual disadvantage. This opening question highlights the bias at the heart of the conflict. The war is being driven as much by the king's internal insecurity and his refusal to see his family as a single unit as it is by the physical armies. Through the divine vision of the narrator, Sanjaya, we leave the palace and drop directly onto the front lines. We see the armies not as a concept, but as a terrifying physical reality. Prince Duryodhana is there, actively surveying the Pandava forces. He is looking at an army that is perfectly organized, moving with a discipline that stands in contrast to the chaos of his own mind. Duryodhana approaches his teacher, Dronacharya. It is a calculated move. He is technically reporting on the enemy's positions, but the act of seeking out his guru suggests he is looking for reassurance as much as he is providing a briefing. When a leader feels the need to loudly articulate the strengths of his enemy, he is often trying to talk himself out of his own fear. Duryodhana's tactical observations reveal a man who is fully aware of the danger he is facing. Shlokas 4 through 10 function as a mental ledger. Duryodhana begins a literal roll call of the titans standing against him, listing the warriors who represent the greatest threat to his rule. This is his map of the enemy. He identifies the archers Yuyudhana, Huwata, and Drupada as the primary obstacles. Each name represents a specific tactical variable he has to account for. He then pivots to his own side, listing his defenders, Bhishma, Karna, and Kripa. He is balancing the scales, checking his own assets against the threats he just identified. He notes the sheer scale of his forces. Duryodhana describes his own army as unlimited, while the Pandava forces are limited in number. He is trying to find confidence in the raw data of the battlefield. He places the entire weight of this massive army on one man, his commander, Bhishma. He believes that if the soldiers focus entirely on protecting Bhishma, the superior numbers of the Kaurava army will eventually grind the enemy down. This exhaustive assessment shows Duryodhana's psychological state. He is leaning on names, titles, and numbers to provide a sense of certainty that his own intuition is starting to lack. The rosters are complete. The strengths and weaknesses of both sides have been articulated. There is no more room for scouting or calculation. There is only the massive kinetic energy of two armies waiting to collide. It is worth asking why a spiritual text begins by cataloging soldiers and formations. The Bhagavad Gita places its wisdom here because these ideas are meant to be tested in the most extreme circumstances. The battlefield provides the friction required to show that philosophy must be practical and actionable when life is on the line. While Duryodhana finished his survey, we are about to see the same battlefield through different eyes. Another warrior is moving to the center of the field to view this exact same roster. Duryodhana looked at these armies and felt a need for bravado. But when Arjuna looks at them, he will experience a total internal collapse. It is that collapse, that Vishad, that will finally open the door to the conversation that changed the world.